Hello, my friend. Welcome to live chat. Woo! We have an interesting chat today, thanks to the very lovely Kelly Gooch. If you are not familiar with Kelly Gooch, if you like my channel, you'll like Kelly's video. You'll like Kelly's channel. She is sorry, I'm still waking up. She is beautiful and talented and very smart, and she comes up with great ideas for videos. So today we are going to be talking about Kelly's most recent video where she talks about rage baiting, and she goes into exactly what rage baiting is and the difference between rage bait and clickbait and all of that. I have about, let me see, how many clips do I have from Kelly's video? I have 8 clips that add up to about 6 minutes of Kelly's video. So I'm not going to show you the whole thing. I would strongly recommend you go over to Kelly's video and watch the entire thing. It is linked down below. But I really want to weigh in on this topic about rage baiting and what the deal is with that and how we can stop people from doing this, because it really, I feel like it's rotting my brain and it may be rotting your brain too. I don't feel like it's good for society. I don't think it's good for me. I don't think it's good for you. It's awful. It's so awful. And as an ADHD person who takes everything literally, I'm probably taking this a little bit too personally because they get me every damn time and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. So we're going to be talking about that today. Before we do, I want to say quickly, hello, very quickly, to the people that are here live who are going to be discussing this topic with us, because that's the beauty of live chat, is it isn't just about me and my opinions, me just talking at you. It's about the opinions of the community, and we're all going to learn from each other in the collective brain of makeup awesomeness. So there's people that are here live, and if you're not here live, that's okay too. You can also participate in the comment section down below. All right, let's say hi to Tish. Hi, Tish. I'm still craving. I met Tish once and she brought me banana pudding, and I'm still craving the banana pudding. I don't think I will ever find banana pudding that good ever again. So, Tish, hi. Good morning. Hi, Arroyo. Good morning to you in Orange County, California. Beautiful, beautiful place. We talk about this all the time. Hi, Gigi. Good morning in Minnesota. Good morning, Gigi. Gigi says that she just watched Kelly's video. Nice. It was good, wasn't it? She did a fantastic job. Teresa, hello, everyone. Hope y'all are doing well. Sun is shining for us today, and we may get into the 60s this afternoon. Been 40s and 50s for about 2 weeks. Ooh, very nice for you, Teresa. Teresa's in North Dakota, and yeah, not always nice weather there. A lot of times not nice weather. So Teresa, thank you for being here. Flory and Audra and Steph and John, and thank you all for keeping this a nice, safe place. You may notice that we may have some new people joining us this morning. I have a couple of videos that are performing well outside of our community right now, so that may bring some new people. So if you are used to being here, just know there may be some new people here, and they may not know our vibe and our community, and we may need a little more moderation today than typical, just because there may be some people that aren't well intended. There may be some wonderful new people that are well intended, but there may be some people that are not. So thank you, moderators, for being here, because I am going to need you today. Thank you so much. All right. Let's see. New member, Jennifer. Thank you so much for becoming a member of the Collective Brain Elite. I appreciate you so much. Hi, Anna. Anna says, hi, Collective Brain. Hope everyone is well. A special hug from Portugal. Ooh, I love that. One day I want to go to Portugal. I would love that. Hi, Nikki. Nikki says, this is perfect timing as I'm bored at home, feeling poorly, and trying to foil my own hair. Well, best of luck with the foil, and I hope that you feel better soon. And Angie, thank you so much for being here. Finally sunny in Minnesota. Oh, neighbors with with nice Gigi. Fantastic. If I did not say good morning to you, or good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so let's see. Let us go and let's play the first clip from Kelly. I'm going to have to put my headphones on because I won't be able to hear Kelly without them. And get the intro to her video. This is the full intro. Again, full video down below. It's about a 1-minute clip.
You know the expression, all publicity is good publicity? I would have to say the social media version of this is all engagement is good engagement. Because the algorithm doesn't actually know the difference between a comment that says, this is the best video I've ever seen, thank you so much for posting it, and I hated everything about this, please get it off my feed. The algorithm simply sees it as a comment and it signals to the algorithm that people are liking this content enough to engage with it, therefore I should share it with more people. And in a world where social media has gotten so saturated and competitive, a lot of creators are using this concept to kind of hack the system. And consequently, now we are seeing a huge influx in rage baiting. And naturally, this idea has also made its way to the beauty community. And I want to talk about that today in Makeup Musings.
All right. So that is Kelly's intro. And I agree with her 100%. There has been a significant increase in rage baiting on my feed. And like I said, as a neurodivergent person, I take everything literally and I believe everything that I see off the jump. I've always been like that. I've always, given people the benefit of the doubt, but it's like ruining my faith in humanity. And I'm starting to be able to spot it a little bit better. There are signs when somebody is doing something just to upset people, to get people to comment, to click, to find out what happens. There's that's I lost my train of thought. See, I'm already losing this is going to be an interesting chat because my brain is apparently fried. I'm falling for it a lot less. I'm falling for the rage baiting because I do feel like there is a pattern and things to watch out for when somebody is just doing something in order to further themselves and it's not actually reality. And it's just going to take time for all of us to catch up. But if you fall for this stuff too, just know you're not alone. It happens to the best of us. We just have to get better at recognizing it. Anna says Kelly's video is on point. If this topic interests you, watch it. You'll not be disappointed. I agree. And I purposely cut out parts of Kelly's video that I thought were really good because I wanted to make sure that the integrity of her video, like you would go over and watch her full video because it's not something I necessarily need to comment on the whole thing. Kelly has fantastic opinions. Very, very interesting. Yeah, see, like this, Carly says, I've been commenting on YouTubers' videos that use a BetterHelp sponsorship, but maybe I should stop because I'm just giving them engagement and it infuriates me. Yeah, I mean, I think that with a sponsorship, I don't know if that's necessarily rage baiting. I think that's just somebody that doesn't care that BetterHelp has been called out for not helping to say it very mildly. So I don't know if that's necessarily rage baiting as much as it is like, see, that's the thing is where's the line between, commenting on something in order to give someone that is trying to get negative attention, commenting on that, and helping them with that negative attention versus, when somebody's just taking a sponsorship that's crappy that they shouldn't probably, if they're, well, I mean, I shouldn't say they shouldn't, it's their life. They can do whatever they want, but one that I personally do not want to take. How else do you say that? I don't know if that's the same thing, but I think that if we, and this is something I've learned as I've gotten older too, and we'll talk about this more, that we don't have to comment on everything that upsets us because sometimes commenting on something will get me even more heated and then what happens if I comment on something like that is then I have to go back and see if that person responded to see if I can argue more. I want to see what that person's response was to my response to their a-holery. And then I'm sucked into it. Then I'm refreshing all day. Is it really worth that time and energy? And that's why I'm saying it's rotting my brain. It's wasting my time, it's rotting my brain. And maybe we do need to just start letting this stuff go more. And as soon as we see that BetterHelp sponsorship or whatever sponsorship you don't agree with, just clicking off the video and not watching the rest of it because that's where the bag is. That's where the money is, especially on YouTube, is that long watch time. That's the goal because the longer the person watches, the more ads they will be served and or the more you're staying on the YouTube platform and the creator is rewarded monetarily for how long you watch the video. So the worst punishment that you can give a YouTuber is clicking off. and not clicking in the first place. That is the worst thing that you can do. Commenting something mean, for people that are rage baiters, that's what they want. Therefore, you are not hurting them in any way. So that's a really interesting thing that I hadn't really thought about, Carly. Thank you for that. Oh, interesting. So apparently, Aaron says another commenter mentioned this, but Hannah Alonzo has a video about rage baiting that's good. That's great to know. I am not familiar with Hannah Alonzo, but I will definitely check that out. Lewis says, as a fellow neurodivergent, I also struggle to separate rage bait from a genuine attempt. That happens to enrage me. Yes. Oh, definitely. Yeah, me too. 100%. Yes. AK says, my favorite finance channel went from informative to Jerry Springer in 1 year. No, but Jerry Springer is the perfect example of rage baiting. We all knew, if you were around watching Jerry Springer in real time, we all knew what Jerry Springer was. And I think that's why it kind of faded out over time. But the thing was, is the stories were always different, and you never knew how the person was going to get hit. If you're not familiar with Jerry Springer, the whole point of Jerry Springer was to bring on people that were mad at each other for one reason or another. You reveal something shocking, and then there is a fight on the stage. That was it. That was the whole point. Every single episode, it was on 5 days a week, wasn't it? If I remember right, I could be wrong there. It could have been on 1 day a week, but I remember it being on 5 days a week. Maybe it was reruns. I don't know. Memory's not fabulous. But every time you clicked on Jerry Springer, you knew exactly what you were going to get. And a lot of people enjoyed that. It wasn't necessarily rage baiting. It was purposeful clicking. We knew what we were getting. We were clicking on a Jerry Springer episode. But that's interesting that your favorite finance channel went from informative to Jerry Springer in 1 year. To have a finance channel flip like that. I mean, this is something, you know what? I want to get back into Kelly's video, because she gets into the changes in the beauty community and why this is specifically affecting the beauty community. She's going to get into that in a minute. Nice Gigi says, rage baiting is not sustainable engagement. No, the baiting part, rage baiting isn't. But if you, okay, so I will say this real quick. I'm still on Twitter, aka X, which there's a lot of people that have left. My engagement over on Twitter, aka X, is so much lower than it used to be, because a lot of the people that used to follow me over there are now no longer on that platform. It is getting, for a while, I felt like I was pretty insulated in the people that I followed, but now it's starting to get really freaking ridiculous over there. So now there are rage baiting Twitter accounts where they're verified, so they do get paid over there, and they'll put up something like, okay, so I screenshotted this. I meant to put it up on the screen. I meant to put it in my computer so I could show it to you on the screen. But like, for example, it's called non-aesthetic things. Okay. So I don't know if you can see this. Probably not. Let me see if I can get it on there. It's not really the best shot. Okay. So it's this dog. You see the dog's eyes, and he's trying to feed it a treat. Okay. They found this dog, and they're trying, it says, they found him 2 years ago, and now he's this beautiful dog, right? The whole video is about finding a stray dog and then loving him so much and turning him into this beautiful dog, who is, part of the family. The caption on this is 35 years of marriage destroyed in seconds, which makes absolutely no sense. But when you start watching the video, you're like, how was their marriage destroyed? And then you're like, did I miss something? Did I miss something in this? Because how was their marriage destroyed? And you didn't miss it. It was a rage bait title. The other one that I saw, which, hold on, my phone's being weird. Hold on. Stop. Okay. The other one that I saw was about fried, same account, fried red velvet cake. They literally took a slice of red velvet cake. They put it in like funnel cake batter, and they fried it. This is the picture of it. It looks kind of weird here, but imagine a piece of red velvet cake inside of there, right? And it says, some people shouldn't be allowed to cook. And it looks absolutely delicious. But they want all the people commenting, that looks amazing. I would totally eat that. And this has 300, I don't know what, it was put up 6 hours ago. It has 333,000 views, 119 retweets, and 206 comments. The one about the dog has 2.8 million views and I didn't get the rest of it. But my point is that this thing that I actually used to really like this account, and now they're just rage baiting. And so I'm blocking them because I don't want to waste my time with that. It's rotting my freaking brain. I it's like, really? Really? So in this way, rage baiting might provide sustainable engagement because, in my opinion, nobody knows that person and they're not personally attached to that person. So they'll constantly be getting new people to engage. I think, and that's why I think it's a lot. One of the reasons why I think it's a lot easier on TikTok to rage bait than it is on YouTube is because you're not as attached to those people. You don't know these people. It's the first time they've been following your feed. I mean, you've seen their feed. All right, let me go back over to Kelly, because if I don't go back over to Kelly, we're never going to get through the clips. And they're good. They're really good. Okay, clip number 2 from Kelly.
And I actually view it as the evolution of clickbait. And I do sometimes hear people using these words interchangeably, but I do find there to be a bit of a distinction.
Yes. So rage bait versus clickbait. I've had people accuse me of clickbaiting my videos. I don't clickbait my videos. I purposely don't clickbait my videos because I want you to trust me. When you click on a video, I want that long term, like Gigi was saying, I want that long term engagement from you. And if you can't trust me that you're going to get what you ask for when you click on the video, then you can't trust me. What I will do though is I will manipulate the language a little bit so that maybe you might think it's one thing, but when you get there, it is not exactly what you expected, but it's not untrue. So I may say something like, so and so is mad. And maybe you thought mad meant angry, but I meant mad as in they're losing their mind. You know, that they're going nuts, they're losing their mind. So using multiple meaning words in a way that will entice you to click because you're not sure what's going to happen, right? It's not wrong. It's not wrong to the content. It's accurate to the content, but I've been accused of clickbaiting in that way. But if you look back at the title, it's like, oh, that's what you meant, right? And it's because I want to create, when I create thumbnails like that, I want to create a question in your mind so that will entice you to click on it. To me, that is not clickbait. You could call it clickbait if you want. We could have this discussion. Maybe for some people that does mean clickbait, but I will always give you what it says in the title and the thumbnail. I will always give it to you. Will it always be 100% what you thought it was going to be? No, not necessarily, but it will always it will always match. You will always understand once you get through the video. Oh, that's what she meant, right? And the other thing that Kelly says, let me play the next clip because this is the way she describes it.
You would see like a couple, like let's say there's an internet famous couple, and the video, like the thumbnail might be like them crying with like a broken heart, and the title would be like, we broke up, question mark, and then you click on the video and it's actually just a Q&A, and then one of the questions is, did you guys break up? And they're like, no, we didn't. That would be clickbait. But because short form content isn't chosen the way that these other types of media are, and for the most part you don't have to like physically click on it, now we're seeing the idea of rage bait.
Okay, so what I see clickbait is what Kelly is saying, where you're not getting what you came for at all. So I've seen this a lot with drama channels where they will say, like, the title and the thumbnail and all of that, everything will be about this one point because they know that's what's going to draw you in. They will wait until the very end of the video, 30 minutes in, to talk about it, and it'll literally be 1 minute of a 40-minute long video that they've now made you wait that whole time. I will give Peter Monin a pass on this one because that man has been like this for the entirety of his entire channel, where he talks for the first 20 minutes about whatever's going on in his life and, you know, his neighbors and all of that. I give Peter Monin a pass. But if you are not, that's why when I do What's Up in Makeup, I always do whatever the top news story is always first, because I want you to get what you came for. And then if you want to stick around for the rest, that's up to you. It's my job to keep you around. It's my job to put other stories in there that'll make you want to continue watching. Is everyone going to want to continue watching? No. But that's what I feel like when you're giving good content, you don't need to hide the most important thing at the very end of the video. You don't need to hide it there. You can put it up front and then create good enough content that people will stick around past that best content, right? That's just the way that I choose to do things. And I get really annoyed when the thumbnail and the title and the thumbnail and everything are really over dramatic, and then it's just not. And it's just like what Kelly was saying. It's a couple. Did we break up? It's literally 5 seconds of no, we didn't break up. The end. That is to me clickbait. True, true, true clickbait. All right, let me go over to you all. I see we have a new member, the Jammiest Jam. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you so much. Yeah, that's the way drama channels work for sure. I mean, do what you want to do. I'm not telling anybody what to do with their channel. I'm just saying it personally annoys me. Just as a person, it annoys me. But if people want to do that, that's totally up to them. But I don't watch as many of those channels anymore because I don't enjoy that format. And that's just a personal preference thing. I don't enjoy having to wait until the very end to hear something that's barely relevant to what I thought it was going to be. I get it, but it's just not my thing. And I've just kind of learned what channels do that. Kind of like I just learned about, this particular Twitter account that I'm no longer going to engage with because it just drives me absolutely bonkers. So that being said, I mean, I think that clickbait used to be even worse than that when YouTube was earlier, in that clickbait used to be literally the thumbnail did not match the content at all because you would get paid per view, not for the length of the video. That's one of the reasons why they changed that, was because you would get paid just strictly on the number of views you got. So all you had to do was get somebody to click on the video. There you go. There's your monetization right there. So they changed that so that people had to watch the video in order for you to earn funds off of it. At least that's the way that I remember it. So yeah. And the problem is that doesn't work. Like Kelly's saying, that doesn't work over on TikTok, because on YouTube, you're looking at your homepage or you're looking at your subscription feed and you can choose which video to watch. But on TikTok, they are choosing for you. You don't have a choice of what comes on your feed unless you specifically go over to, a certain page or whatever, and then you're choosing. Most people just do the For You page and scroll, scroll, scroll. So you don't know what's going to be popping up next. And when people engage in that content, then it's more likely to show to more people. And like Kelly said again, TikTok doesn't know whether you're hating the video or loving the video. They're just knowing that this is causing engagement. Therefore, they want to show it to more people. And that is going to line the pockets of the people that are rage baiting. This is interesting. Lewis says, in a similar vein, I also hate makeup channels who do the whole, OMG, look at this insane new product. OMG, I'm scared. And it's literally just lip gloss. This is the thing, though, and this is something that Kelly's going to get into. It is so hard. It is so hard in the beauty space to get anybody to click your videos at this point. It used to be for a while. Do you remember when we were all complaining that that no one was doing tutorials anymore because no one was watching them anymore? Because I feel like the same thing is happening with makeup reviews now, where people just aren't clicking on them because there's so many makeup reviews out there from so many different people. And unless you particularly have an attachment to this creator, people just aren't clicking on random makeup reviews. They're just not. So getting a new audience with makeup reviews is really, really hard. So I think that's why people are doing the OMG, look at this insane new product. OMG, I'm scared in the thumbnail, because that is how people think that it's going to be more dramatic than it actually is. And it's like, I don't know what else people can do. That's the thing. It's like, what else can people do to get new people to click on your videos? It's really, really hard, especially if you're like me and you have committed to having this as your full-time job and you'd like to keep it as your job. You have to figure out a way to get people in. And with reviews, it's really, really hard, because back in the day, there would be a big launch and everybody would be searching for reviews on this big launch. That just doesn't exist anymore. I don't care. Like, it could be the most popular product. People just aren't looking for the reviews the same way as they were 5 years ago. they're just not. So it's really hard to get that audience. Yes, there will be an uptick and you will get more views on a product that is more popular, that people have more questions about. You may get a percentage more views on that video than other videos, but it's not the same as it used to be, where you would get so many new faces from just reviewing that first launch. That's why being on PR was so special, was because you would get it before everybody else. So you could get those eyes before everybody else. And nobody, and at this point, it's really like everybody seems to be doing the same videos. Everybody seems to be doing the same videos. All right, let's go over to Kelly's video. Again, let's do another clip before we move on. I think I played clip 3. Let's try clip 4. I'm pretty sure. Let me just double check. I think I've already played this clip.
You would see like a couple, like let's say there's
Okay, I already played that one. Let's play this one.
this trend I've been seeing on the rise lately where a creator will come on camera with a brand new foundation in like a squeeze tube like this. They will snip the top of it off, turn it over, and dump the entire bottle into their hands, and then they have a mountain of foundation and they slosh it between their hands and slap it on their face, and they're like rubbing it in, and it is like blowing up. Like, I'm starting to see this type of video more and more often, and every time I see it, the comments are people like outraged. They're like, oh my gosh, you're wasting product, you are like, that's just gross, like what are you doing, this is so wasteful. That is actually like the best case scenario for that creator. That is their ideal outcome.
And what kills me about those kinds of videos is that they will slather all that foundation on their faces, and then I swear this is what I think they're doing. They're going in, they're washing it all off, and then they're coming back with these beautiful faces. I haven't seen that particular video that Kelly's showing, but the magic of editing, I think that the average person watching these needs to have in the forefront of their mind editing in the very front. That this, every time you see that cut, it's an edit. Anything could have happened in between. Even though it's just a fraction of a second for you, it could have been a completely different day. Depending on the content, understanding that when you see that flash, that is a cut and anything could have happened. My husband actually showed me a video yesterday and it was very convincing. It was a woman who had, she was probably about my age, some little wrinkles here and there, looking at, I forget exactly what the situation was, but she's looking at makeup or whatever. And, talking about maybe looking younger or something. I'm making this up because I only watched it once, but the point is a lady about my age, and then it flashes, and then she looks literally 20 years younger, like from 40s to 20s with makeup. The wrinkles are gone. It's incredible. It does look kind of like the same person, but I would dare to say that was her mom. And it flipped to being her. But it really was convincing. And even my husband's pretty damn smart. And he was like, you got to see this. I was like, babe, that's definitely not the same person. He's like, but she has the same nose ring. And I'm like, I know that. It's probably her mom because you couldn't see any wrinkles at all. And there was no filter on it. At least didn't look like there was a filter on it. Maybe there was, but there was no way that they were the same person, to me, at least. But it was so convincing. It was so convincing. And that person probably got 4 or 5 views between the two of us. God knows how many they got from everybody else, So it's all about in the editing, right? And creating that outrage, creating that emotional response. It's like when you go to an art gallery and you see something, they say good art is art that creates an emotional response, right? And the same thing with movies. If you go to a movie and you feel nothing, then that wasn't a good movie. If you feel angry, if you feel upset, if you feel shocked, then that probably in some level it affected you. Even if it was a terrible movie, it affected you. And maybe that was the purpose of the movie, was to create those emotions besides the positive emotions that you might feel. So they're playing on this in order to line their own pockets, in order to grow their own platforms. All right, I've been talking long enough. Let's flip over to the community. Yeah, Carly says, I see no problem with videos trying to get your attention, but the average consumer is not stupid. Agreed. Honesty is the best policy, in my opinion, and people will catch on. People will catch on, especially on YouTube. I don't think this is going to fly as much on YouTube, except for maybe in the shorts, because when you subscribe to somebody, you see their content over and over, and you start seeing that pattern of clickbait. And that's when people stop believing you and they feel betrayed. And that's when I personally unsubscribe. Like, I get it. Get your bag, however you want to get it. But I'm not participating in that. And that's fine. And I'm 100% a big person who believes strongly in individual people's freedom to do what they want with their channels. Do it. Go for it. It's just not something I'm going to want to tolerate, because it's not, it's rotting my brain. It's not good for me. Yes, and then Bree says, or they hated the brand's products, but then it's so good years later because the brand paid them a review. We see you, Michaela and Glamzilla. That's a whole, I don't know if that's necessarily rage baiting as much as it is just being manipulative. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah. But that creates a lot of comments. And I do not believe, I can't say they don't, but I don't believe they care. I think that they are, it's playing a game. They're playing chess. And they don't care if you lose, because they will win. That's my opinion. It's a game. It's a game, unfortunately. So Jenny says, I need some brand to come out with a foundation specifically for perimenopause skin. I'm having the hardest time finding one that works. I've had to change my foundation routine recently because same, Jenny, hashtag same. Yeah, and Lori, Kelly does go over Meredith Duxbury. She goes into detail about how she feels about that. It's in the full video. I'm not going to play that clip, but definitely check out her video if you want to hear her take on Meredith Duxbury. Lori says, I was just glad Meredith was making enough to cover the cost of that foundation. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, media literacy, Kendall, is very important. I totally agree. Totally agree. All right, let's take a quick break, and we are going to talk about what is on my face today. Just very quickly, I have a couple things. All of this was sent in PR. First thing is something I have not shown you yet, and I feel like my eye look came out really good with this. This is the Born This Way Cold Smolder Nudes Mini Eyeshadow Palette by Too Faced. And they did send this, like I said, in PR. I've used this a couple times now and very much enjoying it. It's just a basic, cool toned palette. This is, Too Faced has two distinct formulas, in my opinion. This is the good one. This is the one that works. Is this Head and Shoulders better than anything you can get for half the price? No. But it is good, and I'm very much enjoying it, and it creates a beautiful look. Let me go ahead and swatch the shades that I have on today so you can see what's going on. Let me see, make sure I got the right things. Okay, so I'll just do these four. Oop, there we go. Oop, it's flaking off. Yeah, be careful of that. That's the shimmery shade. And then we'll just do bloop, 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 bloop. And ta-da-da, there they are. So that's kind of what we're dealing with here. They're just good. They're good, solid eyeshadows. So if you're looking for a smaller eyeshadow palette that has those colors in it, I definitely recommend. I've very much been enjoying it, which is different than a lot of the Too Faced palettes I've been showing you lately that I have absolutely hated or thought were mediocre, to say it mildly, where there's a few shades where I'm like, yeah, that one's good, but half the palette I'm like, meh. So yes, Jen approved on that one. For my blush today, love these blushes from Kokie Cosmetics, not Kiko Milano. People get Kokie and Kiko Milano mixed up. Kokie, Kokie. This is the soft gradient blush in Flushed, and they have these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful prints in them. Mine's starting to come off a little bit. It's a little bit deeper when you first get the blush, but this one is fabulous. That's my blush today. And then on my lips today, the new So Juicy by ColourPop. This is in Berry Spritz is what's on my lips today. And this is one swipe of it. If you try to build it, it just doesn't work. So if you want a sheer wash of color, that's what you're going to get with these. That's my only complaint, is I wish that it built up, but it doesn't. So that is that. Let's go ahead and I'm glad y'all like my bloop. I told y'all the bloop thing is just me. It's just me. My mom laughs at me because I'll bloop around her and she'll go bloop, bloop. I know, like she'll like call me out on it. Like, Jen, you're blooping again. It's like, I know, this is what I do. Like, I just, is what it is. So if you don't like my blooping, I'm sorry. It's part of who I am. It lasts for a very short period of time. Hopefully you can get past it. If not, thank you for joining. I appreciate you. All right, let's go to the next clip. I keep losing track of what number I was on. So I'm going to play a clip. I think I already played this one though.
This trend I've been seeing on the rise lately where a creator will come on camera with a...
Yes, I played that one. All right, moving on to clip number 5 out of 8.
This rise in rage bait has happened alongside of the shift in monetization on TikTok. If you're not familiar, TikTok somewhat recently launched their beta program for creators, and now videos that are over 1 minute long are eligible for monetization. So creators are being paid out a bit differently now, and this new program is very lucrative, but it is specifically focused on those longer videos over 1 minute. Which really contrasts the app. In the beginning, these videos were like just a few seconds long. And so creators could maybe do something quickly, maybe a little sensationalized, get your attention, whatever. But now, in order to be paid, someone needs to watch a longer video. It has to be over 1 minute. And you'll notice that so many of these weird rage bait videos that you're watching and you're thinking, what are they doing? What was the purpose of this? They're all over a minute, but usually rarely. Like if you look, they're normally like a minute and 1 second, a minute and 2 seconds. That is very, very, very intentional.
See, I did not know that at all. Before I watched Kelly's video, I did not know that. I don't understand how monetization works on TikTok. I'm not monetized over there. I very rarely post over there. I just, YouTube is my comfort place. It's where I've been posting for 12 years. So I'm not on Instagram or TikTok nearly as much as most people are that have this as a job. And so I didn't know that it was after 1 minute was when you got paid for it. And I don't even know how that works. Like, do they have to watch the whole thing? I don't know, but it makes a whole lot of sense. Instead of just doing something quickly, they have to drag the process out. They have to take the foundation, they have to dump it all over their hands, they have to rub it in, and they have to rub it all over their face and make it all dramatic. And it's, they have to make it a little bit longer and put a little bit more into it, which then sucks more of your time and my time into watching this BS. And it's horrible. It's horrible. I can't anymore. And honestly, like if it doesn't get blocked in the US in January, I don't know. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's that dopamine hit. It's that emotion. Everybody wants to feel something. A lot of people have jobs where you go in and your day looks the same. Yesterday looked the same as today. And people want to feel something different. They need that stimulation. And I think that's where TikTok and rage baiting, and even on YouTube and Instagram, that's where it fills that hole, is when people's day looks the same yesterday as it did today, and tomorrow is going to be exactly the same. You want to feel emotions, and that causes those feelings. But the problem is if the emotion you're always feeling is anger, frustration, confusion, and you're not feeling the joy, what does that do to you long term? What does that do to your brain? I don't know. Does it do anything to your brain long term? I don't know. I imagine that it does, that it's rewiring your connections. We've learned through brain science. We used to think that once you got to a certain age, your brain didn't really change that much as far as the connections. And what we've learned is your brain absolutely continues to change the way things are connected in there through the neurons and all of that throughout our entire lives. And are we rewiring our brains by watching this kind of content and only seeing things that make us angry versus finding joyous things to watch that enhance our lives, that enrich our lives, that make us think about things in new ways, that make us feel excited and happy, right? So for me, the reason why I stay on platforms like TikTok, where there's BS like this, is I see the videos of the baby. I have so many baby videos on my TikTok feed. It's ridiculous, because I love seeing little babies giggling and, doing silly things and, saying silly things and all of that. And I'm just waiting. It's like a bad relationship. You're waiting for the good times. You're waiting for the good times to happen. And, sometimes it takes a lot of the BS to get to the good thing. and you're just waiting for that positive feeling. So you have to wade through all this negative, and it's a time suck, and it's messing with my brain. That's the way I feel about it. Pretty When You're Drunk says, I was a late adopter of Instagram and just could never get into TikTok. I realized I prefer long form content. Me too. I even struggle with YouTube Shorts because I want to see the entire story at once. Yeah, me too. Absolutely. I'm exactly the same way. Yes, thank you so much. Green-eyed Southern girl, neuroplasticity. Yes, you got it. That's the science word. I appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, Citrine says, I curate YouTube to be nice and relaxing, like nail videos or camping stuff. Yeah, and that's something that's great about the algorithms is that it really does respond to what you watch. So for me, my feed, it's not the best feed. I can't be any. This is one of the things about me. I can't be any. If you're new here, I can't be anything but honest. Like when I was talking about clickbaiting my thumbnails, how I will sometimes manipulate the words. So you might think that it was one thing when it wasn't, a smart creator wouldn't tell you that, but I do these things. So my feed is a combination of cruise ship videos about cruise ship reviews, beauty videos, tea spill and spill sesh videos, and then politics. Left-leaning politics. That is my feed. That's my whole feed. And I realized, and where did I hear this? I wish I could give credit to the person that I learned this from. I can't remember who it was. But somebody had said to go to, if you scroll on your YouTube feed, and let me go to my YouTube feed so I can see it. If you at the top, it has all these different little bubbles now that say the things that you're into. So mine say news, foundation, cruise ships, ASMR, hand luggage, the Titanic, because for some reason I'm about to go on a cruise and I decided to start binge watching Titanic videos. I'm an idiot. Trial, because I guess that's because of the Trump trial. Amusement parks, because we're going to go to Epcot. But if you keep going all the way to the end, if you click to the right, it says new to you. And that new to you has really brought some interesting content to my feed. So if you're tired of the things that you're seeing, scroll over and go to new to you, and it'll show you channels that you've never seen before. And I love that. I love that, especially if you feel like your feed, you've been clicking too much on things that are not good for you. That's a great way to get YouTube to understand that you're not watching that content anymore. You also have that button that you can click next to the video. So if you hover over or by the title of a video, you can click on these three little dots. And one thing that you can have a chance to do is either not interested, that would be in the topic, or don't recommend channel. And that will also tell YouTube to not give you that anymore, which is really, really nice. I feel like YouTube is really doing a fantastic job with that. I mean, they've come so far. They've come so far. But I think curating your feed is really, really important, but it's so hard not to get sucked in to that rage bait content. It is so hard. I get sucked into it all the time. And like I said, my dumbass is gonna comment on a YouTube video, and then I have to go back to the video like 9 times to check and see if anybody's commented on my comment. I stop. I have to stop. I haven't done it in maybe 2 weeks. It's been a little bit of a short time, but it's a time suck. Exactly, Jessica. It's such a time suck. Absolutely. And for a while I was watching a lot of Gen X parody videos, like songs about Gen X. That was showing up on my feed for a while. Yes. Jessica says, love that don't recommend channel button. It's fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. All right. So next clip. Again, forgetting where I left off. I'm pretty sure I left off right here. Yes, it's this one.
One that I just saw was this creator who, actually I took a screenshot so I could put it on the screen. She was like, I just sent my sister this itemized bill for babysitting her kid. And then when you look at the actual things on there, it's Flushing the toilet, 50 cents per flush, flushed 5 times. Hand washing, washed 5 times, 50 cents per hand wash. Played video games for 20 minutes, $7 for electricity. Like, the thing goes on. This girl did not bill her sister for that. But there are so many comments, like, they're just eating it right up. They're like, oh, if my sister ever did this, oh, your sister's so mean. And then I'm seeing people stitch it, like, oh, your sister's crazy, it's this, that. She didn't really do that. She did not bill her sister for this. I know this creator was doing this as a joke, because then when you click on her page, her bio says satire.
Yep. But people don't click that far. And that happens a lot on X too, on Twitter/X. That happens a lot there, where there'll be a parody satire account and they'll post something absolutely outrageous, and it'll encourage a lot of engagement. But am I still going to that stupid platform? Yes. I still go there every single day, and I need to stop because it's really not healthy for my brain. All right, let's click on the next video from Kelly. But I agree with Kelly that that lady did not do those things, that it was, well, obviously, because she said that she's a satire channel, but I can see where that would gather a lot of engagement from people that just don't realize that it's not real. So our job as viewers, if we want to save our brain and our time, is to be a little more conscious of what we watch, so that people that are rage baiting in a harmful way, that we're not encouraging that to continue. That's what it comes down to. All right, next clip from Kelly.
What I think is so interesting about this topic is that in a lot of ways, it was inevitable. It is becoming so hard to fight for the attention of the viewer. Like, we are very picky with what we will watch, and it takes so much to get someone to stop their scroll. It is becoming practically impossible to convince someone to watch your video. In the sea of content, how do you get a viewer to choose yours? Especially when it's like they have seen everything. There's nothing, like, I love a makeup tutorial, but there's nothing that could really shock me or wow me, like, oh, I've seen that technique before, I've seen this before. But what I haven't seen before is someone dumping a whole bottle of foundation into their hand. Okay, like, obviously I've seen that now, but like, flashback to a year ago, I hadn't seen that. So the first time I saw it, my jaw was on the floor. It did get me to stop my scroll. I'm like, oh, what are they doing? This is me holding my phone in a hand.
So yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I was talking about, and I was actually having a conversation with Angie Newquist about this, where she was saying that she just doesn't. I think, I'm pretty sure she said this publicly, but she just doesn't like creating content that is like, she doesn't care like about the bankruptcies and all that stuff. She doesn't care about that stuff, but the makeup reviews that she loves to do are just not getting the views that they used to. And I agree with that. They're just not. And that's one of the reasons why I went so hard into What's Up in Makeup, is because, number one, I enjoy it a lot more. I didn't want to buy any more foundation. Like, I'm just burned out on buying so much new product to see it sit and then go bad. Like, I'm just tired of it personally. And I love the top news segment of What's Up in Makeup. As soon as it was created, it was my favorite part of What's Up in Makeup. So I'm very fortunate in that way, that I enjoy the thing that happens to be popular right now. But if you are not into that, if you don't enjoy researching all of that, then it's hard to get people to click. And I think right now, the Will I Buy It videos, like that Samantha March actually invented the Will I Buy It video, where you go through the new makeup releases and you talk about whether you will purchase it or not. Or now at this point, it's basically the What's Up in Makeup product report, but people are commenting on it. My What's Up in Makeup product report was basically just a rattling off of products. And it has become, with Samantha March and all of the other people who are doing it, it's all about the commentary on the products. And I think that's how you stand out in a Will I Buy It format, is your personal commentary and how much people want to hear what you have to say about the product. But the problem with that is that new people don't know that they will like you better than the person's video that was suggested next to yours. So how are you going to get them to choose you? Like Kelly's saying, it is really freaking hard. And we were complaining about the beauty space and having trouble having people click on our videos like 2 years ago. And I feel like it's gotten worse. I feel like it's gotten so much worse and so much harder because there's just so much content. out there. And it like I just happen to be, somebody that continues to get views on things because of the makeup news format. But when I upload reviews, like if I uploaded a review of these, if I decided I wanted to do a full Jen Loves Reviews review of these Too Faced, brand new Too Faced Born This Way palettes, I would put so much effort and energy into it. It would take me so long to do it. And it just wouldn't pay off in the views in order to create that kind of content. Because one thing that I've learned in life is that your effort doesn't, a lot of times, does not match your reward. Just because you work really, really hard at something, it doesn't mean you will be equally rewarded for that hard work, and vice versa. If you don't work hard for something, like some of these rage bait videos don't take any effort, like zero, but they will be rewarded heavily for it, because it's not about how hard you work, it's about what you put your energy toward. It's about that return on investment in your time. So I think that's something that the beauty community is really struggling with, is trying to figure out how to differentiate themselves from other people in the space, and get people to click on your video versus other people's videos. And it's genuinely hard. It's genuinely hard. I'm struggling with my Friday video. I'm struggling with it because a lot of times, if like if I did a Stitch Fix versus Wannable, which I love making those videos, it's like I love making those videos. I will still probably make them occasionally for myself. But when you think about, return on investment of time and how much money is lost by making a video like that versus something that might be more engaging. Like, for example, I'm currently working on, hopefully for next week, the Behind the Controversy on Lime Crime, which is a friggin' show of a story, right? And I know you're going to freaking love it. I've spent 3 weeks on this video. I spent literally 3 weeks on this video, and I hope that you all love it as much as I loved making it for you. But if I'm going to spend 3 weeks on something, I want to make something that I know is going to appeal to a bigger audience, so that my return on investment is there. And it's just really hard to figure that out, what does your audience really want? And beyond that, what does outside of your audience want? If you want to do this as your full-time gig, if you're doing this as a hobby, none of this matters. Everything I'm saying, none of this matters if you're doing this as a hobby. If you're just doing this for yourself, which is a very valid way to use your platform, is just to do it as a hobby. But if you're trying to do it as a job, you have to figure out how you're going to get people to click. It's like if you own a store, you have to figure out how you're going to get people to come in the store. If you have an online business, you have to figure out how you're going to advertise to get people into your online business and to purchase products, right? It's the same thing with YouTube. It is a job. So you have to figure out how to get people in the door. And it's really freaking hard. It's really hard. Yes, Johnny Ross and Kevin are so unique. They really are. I've watched a few of their podcasts. I would say I disagree with them on quite a few points when I've watched them. I have kind of felt a little bit of like, because we haven't agreed on something, but I think we're just coming from very different places, and it doesn't make me mad. I still very much enjoy their podcasts. I do. I feel like they show me a different perspective often that is not my perspective. So I appreciate that about them. But yeah, sometimes I'm like, but not in a mad way, just in an I disagree way, which is fine. So, all right. So we have one more clip from Kelly, I believe. Let me just make sure. I'm going to click on clip number 7, but I think we've already watched this.
What I think is so interesting about this topic is that in a lot of ways, it was inevitable. It is becoming so hard to fight.
Okay, we did watch that. All right, last clip from Kelly.
But I do see a time in the future when this stops working, the same way clickbait kind of stopped working. And don't get me wrong, like I said, I think there's always a version of like click-worthy titles, but you don't see clickbait the same way you did 5 or 6 years ago. And I think we'll also get to a similar stage with this type of content where the viewer is so used to it and they see that like this is not a real thing, and then they're not engaging with it. We're kind of starting to see this already. Like these methods just don't work as well as they did before. No one's blowing up and seeing sustained success the way that Meredith did a few years ago.
Yes, and she's talking about Meredith Duxbury 'cause she talks about that in the video. Again, please go watch Kelly's entire video. It's really, really good. But she's right. You're not seeing the same growth of channels like Meredith did when she slathered her face with all of the foundation that's in Kelly's thumbnail. You're just not seeing that. And I think that, like she's saying, I 100% agree with Kelly on this. I do think that eventually people will start getting smart and these channels won't be rewarded as much as they are being now, because I do think that that novel factor and people just not being aware is leading to more views for these channels, and for mostly on TikTok. I feel like it's definitely it's encouraging them to create more, and even worse, like we were talking about a lot earlier in this chat, it's encouraging other creators to go that direction because they are seeing that the quote unquote honest content that they are creating, the content that they feel is inspiring or informative or helpful, is just not getting the same attention as the rage bait. So then they start pivoting and going more toward rage bait content. And I think where the middle ground is to not rage bait, but to create things that are of higher interest to a general population, which is extremely difficult to do. Extremely difficult to do. There's a reason why TV shows go into production with full intent of being on the air for 10 seasons and then they're canceled after the pilot, right? You would never go through the trouble of casting and doing all this if you didn't think you had a great show on your hands. But then the pilot airs. I don't know if this still happens, but I remember this happening a while back. The pilot would air and it just wouldn't get the views. And the show would be canceled after the pilot or after 5 episodes or 6 episodes or whatever it is. No one intends for that to happen. Everybody thinks they've got a banger because you just don't know until you put it out there into the world. And even this video that I just did on the Euphoria Foundation, before I hit that go button, I was like, I spent a lot of time working on it and I put a lot of effort and energy into it, but I was like, are people going to actually care enough to watch this? And and the thing is I knew it was going to get enough to stay in my range, where I knew it was going to get enough attention to stay in where my videos usually do. But I didn't know it was going to do what it did at all. It's really a lot of people outside of the community are watching it and finding me for the first time. And if you're one of those people, hi, welcome. But I didn't know that was going to happen because it is unpredictable. You literally do not know until you put it out into the world. You can have a feeling, you can have an inkling, but you don't know. And sometimes I have thought that I had a banger of an idea. I was like, this is going to do so well. And it flopped. And I even got made fun of for it. I remember I did those little skits for a little while, which I freaking loved. Like they were so fun. I did little skits talking about the makeup industry and I was like, this is going to take off. This is going to be amazing. And now people just laugh at me about those because they were stupid. They were stupid. But I thought that was going to be great. But what I learned is I'm not as funny as I think I am. That's what I learned from those videos. So, my point is that you never know. So you just have to keep trying and do it in a way that you can live with yourself with. And for me, rage bait is not something I could live with myself with. Altering the title a little bit to make you think that maybe I can live with myself on that one. But most of this 90%, I want you to be able to come to my channel and get what you came for. Maybe you'll be a little annoyed with me that you thought it was something that it wasn't, but you'll get it. You'll always get it. But rage baiting, absolutely not. Or, putting a title that this is going to be what this is about. And then by the end of the video, you're like, how is that about that? That's not me. I can't do that. But that's just me. That's just me. Everybody has to get their bag, however, but as a viewer, I want to stay away from content like that where I'm getting myself into a time suck and I'm also not making myself mentally be in a good place because of it. That's what I'm currently working on. And I'm hoping that more people will follow suit, and that we will have less of this, because I do agree with Kelly, and that I do think that people will start figuring this out more, just like they figured out clickbait. They will figure this out too. It just has to happen on a massive scale. And I don't think that TikTok is so huge that it's going to take a while. It's going to take a while. So, yeah. Yeah, the Electric Die says Johnny and Kevin speak from their sphere of experience in the beauty space, as is evident from their commentary. It's very different than the cis female experience, and that makes people uncomfortable. Yeah, definitely. And I don't think that they make me uncomfortable. They don't make me uncomfortable. I just feel like we do have very different experiences, and in that, I feel like they're missing a lot that I've experienced. They're significantly younger than me, and they do have a different experience and sometimes they say things where I'm like, I have a completely different experience. It's not about being uncomfortable. It's about, I think you're missing some nuance there. Or I think that maybe you don't understand that as much as you think you do. As far as when they're talking about things that I feel like I know a lot about. There are things that I definitely learn from them, because there are things that they know that I absolutely know nothing about. There are perspectives from them that I know nothing about, and I learn a lot from them. And that's why I watch them. That's why I enjoy them, is because I do learn from their perspective, because it is very different than my perspective. And that's what I reach out for. That's what I try to find, is people like Johnny and Kevin who have different experiences. I just notice sometimes that we just disagree because we do have those different experiences. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't know why people think that I am just going after. Every time I mention Johnny and Kevin, people think I'm going after them, and I'm not, I promise. I think that they're doing amazing over there. I love their set. Their set is gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Kendall says, I'm currently working on my dissertation, and I feel all of this so much. You never know how others will respond to the ideas you come up with in your own head. Oh, absolutely. 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 All right. It looks like we are out of time. Wah, wah, wah. And I have pop-ups coming up on my screen. It's making me not be able to read what you all are saying. All right. We'll do one more comment. J Renee says, I have one video. I guess it could be rage bait. It's my viral video on TikTok, but it didn't go viral until like a year later. That's so interesting. After I posted it, I did it for fun using a viral audio and lip syncing. That's fun. But see, did you make people mad with it though? Were you making people mad on purpose in order to get them to watch it? Like, were you being fake? I would say you probably weren't. I would say you probably weren't doing it just to piss people off. So I think that the vast majority of us are not trying to do things purposely to piss people off. But when you see money in that, you'll do what you got to do. Follow the money, right? Follow the money. Johnny and Kevin, they have a YouTube channel that has a podcast on it. It is called, what is it called? I forget what it's called. Y'all are probably yelling at me right now. I want to make sure that I properly promote it. Nope, it's not coming up. What's it called? Y'all help me out. Help me out. I'm not leaving until I know what the name of their podcast is. I forget what it's called. It's driving me nuts. Come on, help me. Who's going to be the first one to tell me what it's called? Because I want to properly promote them. Because I do recommend you go watch it. I 100% recommend you go watch it. It's good. It's about a 30-second delay on here. Come on, y'all. Hook me up. Beautiful and bothered. There we go. Watermelon lemonade. Watermelon lemonade nails. Beautiful and bothered. Y'all are great. Okay. Thank y'all so much. Yeah, definitely go check out their podcast. It is very good. Full stop. Thank y'all for being here. I hope you enjoyed live chat. If you did, we will be back next week for another live chat at 10 a.m. Eastern time live, or you can always watch it on the replay. Just a heads up, the next week, there will be no What's Up in Makeup, no live chat. And then the following week, there will only be a live chat, no What's Up in Makeup, because I'm going on a big boat with my mom. We are going on Symphony of the Seas, and we are going to the Caribbean. We're going to Orlando, and then we are going to their private island called Coco Cay or Coco Key, however you want to say it. And then we're going to Nassau in the Bahamas. So I'm very, very excited to spend this time with my mama. And I have a plan. I would love to, I don't know if it's going to happen, to do a live stream from the ocean. That would be super cool. I bought the internet package. So hopefully I will be able to pop back and do that. But this week, what you need to know is everything is normal. What's up in makeup, Friday video, live chat. It's just the next week is where things are different. So have a wonderful week. Mad love to you, and I'll see you soon.